Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 once again, because, you got to hear it read out. And you should be reading it yourself, too. When your day starts, you should be reading this, man. Deuteronomy, especially before you go and set your hand to something to go try to be prosperous, or you want to be prosperous on what you do, why don't you read the word of the Lord to increase your faith? Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. So this is a good scripture to read all the way up to 7 or 8 before you, especially before you go driving out somewhere and you pray to the Lord. First you mention the scripture, then you pray to the Lord in secret, right? So the Father that sees what's done in the secret will reward you openly, all right? But you also have the word of the Lord to rely on to increase your faith. That is, say, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field, okay? Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face, and they shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. So I've been pondering on this scripture right here, on these scriptures right here. And ultimately, man, every single line that's been happening here pretty much has come to pass in massive form. So it's a reason for me to truly, really increase my faith. And one of the best ways, my brothers, is, when you're praying to the Lord, because we got a lot to deal with. We got to endure all of these people coming at this truth, these TikTok preachers, these TikTok people who are so badass now on TikTok. But where were they when we're out on the streets teaching? They were nowhere to be found. Now they got a platform of wickedness, and all of a sudden they all got something to say when they never had nothing to say before. It goes to show how many people are fraudulent, man. And the Lord's going to expose them all and destroy every one of them. They're all going to get burned with an ICBM nuclear fire. Okay? That saith the Lord. Period, man. Let's get verse 8. The Lord Yahweh shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee. So that's a powerful thing too. Again, before you go set out to do something, before you go set out for the city, or set out for the field to go working, or before you set your hand for something to do, ask the Lord in prayer after you read Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 8, and pray to the Lord, man. Okay? This is all contingent upon attempting your best way to keep the commandments, all right, to the best of your abilities. You're not going to be saved through that, but it increases your faith, okay? And it will enable you to do the work of the Lord. And also you must have faith in Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son of the Lord Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But with faith being increased through hearing the word, that's when you're going to believe more in the prayer that you send up to the Lord. And, look, there's not a lot of faith in Israel. And there's not a lot of faith. That's why the Lord Yahweh Shai even said to the disciples, "O ye of little faith." You have faith, but just little, man. You don't really, truly, you're not up to, and that's, again, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Lord. So to increase your faith, what should you be doing? Praying and fasting, reading the word of the Lord in the scriptures that shows you that your prayers and everything will be magnified if you have more faith. That's how it's going to go. And if you stay in the light of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, all right? Abstain from wickedness. It's just like drinking alcohol all the time. You may like how the buzz feels, but you're not going to like the after effects of the pain and the cartilage and neuropathy pain and, nerve pain. You could get diabetes and all kind of stuff, liver, cirrhosis of the liver. You got to be careful, man. It's not always about having a good time all the time. Sometimes you got to deny yourself, man. Deny the flesh, crucify the flesh and the works thereof, and hold those thoughts captive to Yahweh Shai, man, into obedience of Yahweh Shai. And that's how it go down. And then you'll stay in the light of the Lord, all right?